Redditors assemble. r/AskReddit. How do you tell if someone is attracted to you or just being very friendly? There's no good answer to that question. A million different people may give a million different signals, hints, signs that they are or are not interested in you romantically. What I found works for me and what I think is the kindest, least awkward way, both towards yourself and the other person, is to have some sort of consistently positive relationship, repeated interaction with them first, and then, in a light-hearted and friendly way and without implying any kind of emotional pressure, just ask if they'd like to go on a date with you. Use the word date. If they say yes, congrats, they're into you at least enough to give it a shot and see where it goes. If they say no, for the love of all that is holy, don't take it as a personal insult. It probably isn't. Keep it light-hearted and take the refusal with grace. They aren't into you, and throwing a tantrum over it or trying to pressure them further isn't going to help them be into you whatsoever. Usually the realization comes 10 years later when you are trying to fall asleep. My cousin once told me, hey, remember my friend? She was pretty cute by the way. Yeah, she had a crush on you a few years back. Bitch, why the frick didn't you tell me then? Man, this hurts me deep. Insanely beautiful girl I was friends with in a group. I tell my friends I like her a lot. They tell her. She tells them she likes me a lot. They don't tell me. I know it's my fault for not making the move, but help your boy out lol. What's wrong with your friends? SMH. Depends on where you live. Here in England, being anything other than cold and aloof is seen as basically throwing yourself at someone. Canadian who met some English guys. They all said I was insanely keen and I didn't know what that meant. Learned later they thought my normal friendliness was obsessive flirtation lol. Insanely keen. Hilarious. With that being said, I wonder if it's regional even among Brits. So I guess in Texas we're super friendly too. I was working with a foreign client who gave me a weird look when I said if you have any questions we're always here to help. He had the I'm not interested look and I wanted to explain so bad that I'm not interested either. But that would have made it even more awkward, so I just pretended not to notice and died a little inside. Do they ever initiate the friendliness? Responding to someone else's kindness is a lot different than initiating it. But even still, the only sure way to know is to ask. There is a girl that I work with that has asked me to go spend the weekend with her in NYC, so I would assume that she's flirting. Interested in me. I mean, she's kinda flirty with everyone. It just seems like it's more so with me. She always makes a point to talk to me when I walk by and we're always making each other laugh anytime we talk. But I'm afraid of trying to make a move since I work with her and she's way out of my league. If you get an arranged marriage, it's a 50-50. Sheesh. Assuming the person is single or trifling. You ask to see that person again in a different context and the negotiation for available time and date is quick and mutually complete. No just friends overtone about it. Thursday at 8. Not available. Not into you. Thursday at 8. Not available. But what about Friday at 9? Else. Look for physicality, proximity, and eye contact when totally unnecessary. Jealousy or defeat. It's subtle when interacting with someone else of the interested person's gender. Caveat all this with me being terrible about noticing it. My wife points this out to me when we're in public. Once I see it, it's obvious, but until then it's a mystery to me. If they act the exact same way with other people, you're out of luck. Or everybody is in luck. I see you've also met my ex. This is actually how I came to be with my current girlfriend. Totally thought she was flirting when I first met her, so I invited her to hang out. I thought we were going on dates the first 4-5x. She just thought we were hanging out as friends. I found out later that she is that friendly to everyone she meets, and has a ton of friends, so this wasn't unusual to her. I eventually picked up that things weren't romantic, told her about the whole thing and we laughed about it. Things stayed that way for a few months and we remained friends. Then one day we were watching a movie and she asked if I wanted to make out. Not sure what shifted the gears. Pretty rad though. Someone tells you years later. They tell you years later after you've moved hours away and it turns out she never said anything. because she thought you had feelings for her other friend who you didn't have feelings for. She was just sexually harassing you in the middle of English class. You need to have just got engaged the week before too. And have kids with your fiancé. As my dear old dad used to say, women who work for tips are not flirting with you. We used to extend this to if she's being paid to talk to you, she's not interested. Twitch TV. LOL, spot on, mate. By how they look at you or act around you versus other people. Difficult to gauge if you both are alone, say in a concert or a trip. I was once called into HR for allegedly flirting with an employee, not part of my own team. Her proof? I was always friendly, offered her milk to go with her coffee, and worst of all, once at an after work, I bought a round of drinks for everyone, her included. The head of HR was a bit puzzled about the whole situation, and asked her what would she then suggest we do to resolve the situation, and she requested that I would stop being friendly to her, and just leave her be. This poor woman just could not accept that I was being friendly. Alright, can I get a round for everyone? Everyone except Karen. Ha. For real though, how soon would the accusations of bullying start? Immediately. Flirting's basically a dumb game of chicken with gradual escalation. Just ask if they haven't, so usually pretty obvious. I've had a lot of people ask me this just because they're nosy. Not a guarantee of attraction. My aunt asked me last week. Glad I missed that signal. Or did ya? You don't. One person's just being friendly is another's take me to a hotel and frick me right now. He's right, you know. It depends on so many things. Unfortunately, dating is one of those things that can't be predicted, because you can't generalize anything. For me, I flat out told him that I liked him, and if he asked me out I would say yes. He said thankses and never asked me out or responded in any way that he liked me back. Bummer. A few months later we kissed. He was like, so, you like me? I should have smacked him upside the head. Apparently he thought I just said that to him to be nice. If they ask you to take off your clothes, chances are they're just being friendly. Our pants were soaking wet from walking in the rain. Got to her house, she gave me her joggers to wear so my jeans could dry. Literally got into her pants. Nothing happened. Shrug. Got into her pants. Not sure what all the ruckus is all about though. The pants were way too tight and were slowly squishing my balls. Like male pants a lot more. But here's the best part. She gave me some hot coffee. I mean, it was really cold. When I met my last girlfriend, our eyes met across a crowded dance floor. She rolled her eyes at me, so I picked them up and rolled them back. So what do you do if they have attached eyes? Roll mine to her. By reading someone's comment on Reddit about how they missed all the signs and then you realize that the same thing happened to you and now you lie there contemplating your life. But you still can't be sure. Yeah, maybe she's Canadian and she's just being polite. Yeah, how am I to know if her kissing my nipples is a sign that she likes me? If they're a cashier, waiter, clock etc., don't get your hopes up. Waitress nice is a close cousin of stripper nice. Or when their name is Weedman 420 Boner God. If I'm showing you affection it means I actually like you. Pro tip. You'll never know if you don't ask. Scruddina's date. No, the stripper is not attracted to you. I beg to differ. I have a massive gravitational pull. But do you have thin sweatpants? That really drives them wild, you know. Thin sweatpants? Enlighten me. If she says what the frick step bro, you were wrong. Actually that means you were right. Really, with some people you cannot tell. I knew a girl who was super friendly with me. I got interested, and then a few weeks around her I saw this was how she treated every guy. Smiles. Oh stop it, you. Flirting. I wasn't special here. I moved on. I knew a girl who friendly with everyone. We sat down at a birthday party and talked non-stop for 3 hours. She was friendly with people, but I hadn't seen her do this before. I got her number and called her. We talked until my phone died. Our 10th wedding anniversary was about 6 weeks ago. Our oldest kid turned 7 in a few months. Are you sure she's into you? Seems too early to tell. I thought a few times during the wedding ceremony, gosh, I hope she's not doing this just to be polite. Ask them. This is number 1. There was a waitress at a bar that my buddies and I had for like a year. I was into her, but couldn't tell how she felt. She was always fun and flirty, but I realized when she would first walk up to our table, laugh or make a joke, she would look at me. I assumed that meant there was at least a chance she liked me, so I asked her out and she said yes. She was beautiful, had a great figure and was super down to earth. She also turned out to be someone who loudly cheered at high points of movies, and I just don't need that in my life. We went our separate ways. I had this exact situation happen to me before, so I asked her out. She gave me her number and mentioned that she and her boyfriend were going to a funeral tomorrow, so she wouldn't be around. What kind of response was that? Whoa, she's really not into you. Assume attraction and ask them out. If they say no, you get your answer. If they say yes, you get to date. Oh, that's easy. No one is ever attracted to me. Agreed. I am 27 and no has ever had a crush on me after I crossed 18 and became ugly as frick. You don't. It's a leap of faith. That's all it is. That's all it is, Miles. A leap of faith. Not bad, kid. Hey. It's not always easy. With my fiance, when we started hanging out, I would convince myself she liked me and then talk myself out of it. I would walk her home and she'd give me a really awkward friend hug, then run inside, leaving me feeling like I'd misread the signals completely. This went on for about 3 weeks before we finally kissed at a party. I asked her about it afterwards and it turns out she was doing the same thing. 7 years and a proposal later, I think she might have a crush on me. Guys, I dunno, man. In high school I went to a dance with a guy as friends and then he kissed me as friends and then we brutally fricked behind the gym as friends, and we've been dating as friends for about 7 years and we're getting married next week as friends, plus I'm knocked up with his babies as friends. You can never really know, man. Some people are in it for the long con. Well, you can't ever really know. Like, even if she sleeps with you, she might just be Canadian. So honestly, you shouldn't get your hopes up and you better keep looking and wondering. Whoa, that was pretty casually explained, lol. The friendly, honest approach has worked for me. You seem really nice. Someone I'd like to go out with, if you'd like that too. If they're already spoken for or disinterested, they'll let you know. Either way, I've noticed that they seem to appreciate the attention. If they sense you're being sincere, I would respond very positively to this approach. It's flattering, but non-threatening. Take my upvote. You give it a shot, and if they reject your advances, you stop giving it a shot. Step 1. Cut a hole in a box. Step 2. Put your junk in the box. Step 3. Make her open the box. And that's the way you do it. Simple. You just say, oh, are you attracted to me or just being friendly? The fastest route between 2 points is a straight line. I automatically assume people are being friendly. It's habit. Innocent until proven interested. I used to, and retrospectively I see that I missed a shitload of opportunities. Oh, look at Mr. with the opportunities here. When she asked me out, I was skeptical. When we slept together, more likely, but can't be too sure. When we got married, I'm pretty sure she likes me. She was working as a waitress in a cocktail bar. This much is true. Don't you want me? You ask them if they're from Canada. If not, then you got yourself a new boo. Hooray. Easiest way. Ask them out on a few dates. Have sex with them. Start a relationship. Take them out some more. Go to fancy dinners and parties. Take them on holiday and stuff like that. Then, after you've tried that for a few years, ask them if they want to marry you. If they say yes, they're probably interested. It's not always easy to tell, and I think I'm especially bad at it. For example, here is a story I shared related to this. My sophomore year of high school, I had a couple of classes with this girl I had a crush on. because teachers loved using alphabetical order there. She and I ended up sitting next to each other in those classes. We started passing notes in those classes, talking about random stuff and being a bit flirty. One day I decide to get the courage to ask if she wanted to go out with me to a movie or something. So, I ask her out in one of our notes. She replies saying that she's really sorry, but she doesn't like me in that type of way. I was devastated, of course, but I also liked her as a friend and didn't want to lose that. So I replied saying that was okay and asking if we could just forget I asked and keep things the way they were, because class would be so boring without our talks. She said yeah, that was fine, and we stayed note buddies throughout the year. Fast forward to my senior year. I had to repeat algebra because I fricked up really badly my junior year due to some personal issues. I'm in a class with a bunch of people the grade under me, and I get seated next to this girl named Kate that I thought was so pretty. Like with the other girl, we ended up passing notes to each other in class, and I come to find out not only did I find her physically attractive, but she was also a really awesome person with similar interests. I really liked this girl and crushed hard on her throughout the year. I would make her mix CDs that she would tell me she loved, and she even made me one a couple of times. I'd share with her stories I wrote and also art I was working on. The best part of my day was getting to talk with her during homeroom algebra. But I was scared of even trying to ask her out because of how I misinterpreted things last time, so I never did. Came really close a couple of times, but never did. A year and a half after I graduated, I'm dating a girl from the same class as her, who had been a friend of mine for a couple of years. We're hanging out with this other girl who was also in my math class, and she brings up Kate and asks why we never dated. I told her I didn't think she thought of me that way, and she was like, "Are you kidding me? She was so into you." At that time it didn't really matter anymore, because I was in a relationship and there was nothing I could do about it, but it did frustrate just how bad I was at reading signals. I mean, I'm still pretty bad at it, but I wish I had at least tried with Kate. The lesson to be learned there, for those who are reading I guess, is that both Kate and sophomore girl gave the same signals, but sophomore girl didn't mean to. You acted on sophomore girl's signals and they turned out to be false. That did not necessarily mean that Kate's were false. Notably, it also didn't ruin your relationship with sophomore girl, because you handled it well. Nobody did anything wrong here, it's all teenage awkwardness. But the bottom line is that if you think you're getting signals from an appropriate person, there's never any true harm in acting on them. Flirt a little and assess reaction. If they react anything less than politely, then that's a no. If they respond by blushing or they flirt back, gradually escalate, then straight up ask, "I like you. Can I interest you in coffee, date, dinner etc?" I guess asking is really the only way to know. I've noticed women that have been interested in me have started a random conversation with me, like asking advice about something. If a woman compliments you on something, could be your eyes, or your jacket, or pretty much anything, that might be a clue. Women play with hair, or adjust it more, making more than usual eye contact. Also, if you are sitting next to them, and their knees are pointing a bit towards you, that is a sign. As well, if they get under a table and start giving you head, also a clue. The eyes, Chico, always the eyes. As a woman who is very friendly and has had some misunderstandings because of this, here's what I notice is different when I'm flirting versus being friendly. If I'm interested in someone, I will laugh, sort of leaning into them. When I'm not, my laughs are more, throw your head back away from whomever I'm talking to. Relatedly, if I'm flirting, I'll find ways to make casual physical contact, like kind of lay my hand on their forearm when laughing or stand a bit closer so our shoulders touch. If I'm just friendly with a guy, I make very certain not to physically touch anywhere. If I'm making friends with a new guy, I'll very pointedly suggest we do things with a group. If I'm flirting, I'll suggest something that has the potential for us to be alone together. If I'm attracted to a guy, I often find myself posing. Like, I think, hope, it's subtle, but I'll tilt my head or readjust my hair into positions I know are more flattering. Hope this helps. I'm sure there are other things that I haven't thought of. Apparently you can never quite tell. I go to this store quite often and one of the cashiers said to me, "We gotta stop meeting like this." Which to me, a guy, means that you want to meet someplace that isn't there at that location. I said this on another post a while back and someone told me, "Oh no, that wasn't a flirt." I say that to customers all the time. And to me, that's a weird thing to say as a casual comment. Maybe I'm wrong, but I wasn't thinking about feeling it out anyway. She's attractive, but I don't wanna date. I know they need to be friendly and I encounter that all the time. That's a different kind of general friendliness. This I wasn't sure how to take, but I left it alone. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and leave a comment which story you liked the most. Subscribe and hit the bell notification for updates on our latest videos. And don't forget to check the links in the description box for more awesome content.